Hey everybody, it's Molly with All Ears, and today I am at Disney's Magic Kingdom to take you around the park. It is a glorious, beautiful, perfect weather day here, and I thought it'd be the best day to take you around and show you 15 things you probably didn't know were in the Magic Kingdom. Now, one of the best things the Imagineers do is they leave little hidden secrets and details all over the park to fully immerse you in the lands, and I bet you've never noticed these before, or at least not all of them. So it's gonna be really fun, lots of things to look for, a little scavenger hunt the next time you're at Magic Kingdom. So what are we waiting for? Me to stop talking. Okay, let's go. Alright guys, Magic Kingdom fun fact number 1. When you walk down Main Street, have you ever noticed the color of the sidewalk? Well, it's red, and that's not at random. That was chosen on purpose for several reasons. The first is safety. Safety is the #1 concern of Disney at all times for their guests. And they know when you walk down Main Street, you're not looking at the ground. You're looking at the castle, you're watching the trolley show, you're filming a YouTube video, you're looking at your map, but you're not looking at the ground. If the ground and the sidewalk were to be the same color, then you might trip on and off the curb. So they made the sidewalk red to let your brain know subconsciously that, hey, you need to step up right now, and that way you're not tripping and starting the day to Magic Kingdom in a really, really boring, terrible way. The second reason that the ground is red is for your photos. That's right, Disney cared about your pictures long before Instagram did. And they actually worked with Kodak in 1971 to choose the correct shade of red for the ground that would make the sky look the best in your pictures here in Florida. Which means at Disneyland, the shade of red is actually a little bit different because the sky is a little bit different color of blue. And third, Disney had to roll out the red carpet for their VIP guests. You. That's right, you're the stars of the show here at Magic Kingdom, and Disney had to make sure to give you the Hollywood treatment. Magic Kingdom fun fact number 2. Now, you've probably noticed all these American flags down Main Street up on the top of the buildings. It is Main Street, USA, after all. But you've probably noticed them at night, too, which is definitely against the flag code. Well, Disney knew it would be pretty difficult to take all of those flags up and down every single night, so guess what? They're not actually American flags. Each one is missing a star or a stripe, so now technically it looks like an American flag, but it doesn't have to be taken down by the flag code. The only real flag on Main Street is the big one at the end, which is lowered every day at 5 o'clock in the flag retreat ceremony, where they choose a guest veteran to help lower the flag. It's a really awesome thing to check out. Another thing to know about these flagpoles is that they're not just for show, they're for safety. We are in the lightning capital of the world here in Central Florida, and Disney had to make sure they had a lot of lightning rods on the top of buildings. But the Imagineers didn't want just big poles sticking out at the top of every building, so they camouflaged some of them, in this case, with American flags. Well, fake American flags. Magic Kingdom fun fact number 3. I'm sure some of you have noticed the Crystal Palace behind me. I'm sure some of you have eaten there with Winnie the Pooh and friends at their 100-acre wood breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But did you know the Crystal Palace actually serves as a very key building when you transition from Main Street to Adventureland? So one of the things Disney does best is completely immerse you into the land that you're in. They want the sounds, the music to be thematic, they want the colors of the buildings, the style of the architecture. It's all going to create this amazing land around you that makes you feel like you're really there. But they can't just go from turn-of-the-century America into the jungles of Adventureland without letting your brain have a few clues that something's happening up ahead, and I bet you don't even notice it. So as you're walking down Main Street, you'll hear that wonderful music, but you'll start to pick up on drum beats as you head towards Adventureland. The landscape gets a little bit crazier. It goes from nicely manicured lawns to some bigger palms and some bigger, more unruly plants. And the Crystal Palace lets you know something's changing too. If you look on the left side, the Main Street side of the Crystal Palace, you'll see that really pretty Victorian porch, the light fixtures. It's very keeping with the theme of Main Street. But if you look over to the right side, the Adventureland side of the Crystal Palace, you'll notice the porch is gone and it's been replaced by that green awning to protect you from the harsh jungle sun. You'll see the landscape is a lot different and there's some bigger bushes, and that is letting your brain know subtly, you probably didn't even notice, that something different, a little wilder, is up ahead. So popping off of one of Disney's most popular attractions, the Jungle Cruise, you're going to want to notice these crates off to the right hand side. It says ship to Kenneth Anakin, and that's no coincidence because Kenneth Anakin directed The Swiss Family Robinson. And what's right across the Jungle Cruise? The Swiss Family Treehouse. It also says Supply Company on the box, and that's because Johann David Weiss actually wrote the novel Swiss Family Robinson. Magic Kingdom fun fact number 5. So we're in Frontierland, and if you look around, you're going to notice lots of things. There's going to be hitching posts for your horse. They've got the brown sidewalk, which is to represent dirt, and you've probably noticed that they have some raised sidewalks, and that's not just for like a convenient walkway. That is keeping with the times of the Wild West towns. That because of those dirt roads, they would have raised sidewalks so that the ladies could lift their skirts up and they wouldn't get all dirty, as well as the men could walk with their nice cowboy boots and not get them all muddy. So Frontierland is definitely keeping in theme with the Wild Wild West. Magic Kingdom fun fact number 6. This is the 6th thing to look for. So I'm in Adventureland and I'm across the way from Aloha Isle and the Enchanted Tiki Room. And if you notice on the roof, you'll see some Asian water buffalo. Nothing weird about that, right? Well, bippity boppity boom! Now we're in Frontierland, and if you look on the skyline, you can actually see some long-horned cattle. But guess what? Those are the same creatures that you could see from Adventureland. Sometimes Imagineers know that there's no way that you're not going to be able to see things from 2 different places, but if they tweak the theming nicely, the rest of the surroundings will convince your eye that it belongs there. Genius. Magic Kingdom fun fact number 7. How many of you have been in Liberty Square and you've noticed that brown winding cobblestone path running through the middle of the street? And maybe you thought, oh, that symbolizes westward expansion towards Frontierland. Maybe you thought it was a river. And if you thought it was a river, you're right, but it's a sewage river. Disgusting, but true. Back in the colonial days, they obviously didn't have any indoor plumbing, so people would have chamber pots and buckets in their house. When they'd get full, they'd toss it out into the street. Horses would run through it, and it would rain, and it would literally become a sewage river floating through the streets of colonial towns. Talk about attention to detail. But they took it one step further. There's not any bathrooms in Liberty Square. If you're walking through the park, you either need to keep going to Fantasyland or go back to Frontierland if you need to use the restroom. And I know you're thinking, Molly, I've eaten at Columbia Harbor House or Liberty Tree Tavern. I've used the bathroom there. They definitely have bathrooms in Liberty Square. Well, the bathrooms at Columbia Harbor House are so far to the back, they actually hang in Fantasyland. And in Liberty Tree Tavern, they hang in Frontierland. So my statement remains true. There are no indoor bathrooms here in Liberty Square. Magic Kingdom fun fact number 8. This one's also in Liberty Square, but it's definitely less gross. If you look in the window that overlooks the market where you can get fresh fruit and baked potatoes and snacks and things like that, there's actually 2 lanterns in the window. Now what could that possibly mean? Well, anyone remember their history classes? 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. That was how Paul Revere was going to let us know how the British were coming. And of course we know that it was by sea, so they went ahead and put the 2 lanterns in here to let us know that the British were coming and it was going to be by boat. So lots and lots of detail here in Liberty Square. I could do a whole video just about Liberty Square. Would you like to see that? Lots and lots of stuff to show up. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see an all Liberty Square fun facts, things to look for video. Magic Kingdom fun fact number 9. So we are standing inside Cinderella Castle Breezeway, and if you've ever walked through here, you've probably noticed this gorgeous, gorgeous mosaic. It's got over 500 different colors in it, including real 24-karat gold. And there's some famous people in it too. The Royal Footman, that is actually a picture of Herb Ryman. He was the man who designed the original concept art for Cinderella Castle as well as most of Disneyland. And the Grand Duke, that is John Hench. He was an Imagineer who was known for creating a lot of the iconic structures such as Space Mountain and Spaceship Earth, and of course the castle. So it's only fitting that the 2 men that brought Cinderella to castle to life would be pictured right here. And if you're wondering who made this beautiful mosaic, you can actually see their names signed at the end as just as you head into Fantasyland. The mosaic was created and designed by Dorothea Redmond and was actually put together by artist Hans Scharf. So they don't normally actually write Imagineers' names on things. They do subtle things like pictures or little nods to them, but I think they made the right choice in crediting those 2 because this thing is absolutely stunning. Magic Kingdom fact number 10. I'm standing outside of Cinderella Castle, and have you ever wondered who really owns the castle? No, not Prince Charming. It's Walt, of course. If you look at this crest below Cinderella's royal table on the backside of the castle, you will see that it's actually the Disney family crest. Now, I think that makes sense, don't you? So not too far from the castle is the Carousel, and keep in mind this is Prince Charming's. It's Prince Charming's Regal Carousel, and this is actually over 100 years old. The original carousel was built in 1917, and Walt and his team discovered it and refurbished it, and it opened with Walt Disney World in 1971. But if you want to know the best horse to ride on the carousel, it's the one with the golden ribbon in its tail. That's because that's Cinderella's horse. So if you're like me, you may or may not knock down small children to get on that one first. Just kidding, I would never do that. Or would I? So, fun fact number 12, we are in New Fantasyland, and behind me is one of the most popular attractions, Enchanted Tales with Belle. Now, Enchanted Tales with Belle starts in Maurice's workshop, and I'm going to point out one very important particular blueprint to you. In there, you're going to see lots of his inventions, lots of his designs, but I'm going to point out the most important. So if you look closely in Maurice's workshop, on his desk, he's got plans for a music box with Belle and the Beast. Now, where have I seen that before? So I'm here in the gorgeous Be Our Guest restaurant, and look behind me. It's the music box. So it's actually a wedding gift from Maurice to Belle and the Beast, and it's here in Be Our Guest. And if you listen closely, the music box is playing the same melody that they're playing in the ballroom, but just with the music box tinkery type noise. Now it's in the Rose Room, which is a room that's dedicated to Belle and the Beast, and there's beautiful portraits and murals all over it. But it's fun to know that Maurice's handiwork is right here, next door at Be Our Guest. Magic Kingdom fun fact number 13. So we're outside the mini adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and a lot of you know who lived here before the residents of the 100-Acre Wood. Folks like Angus McBadger, Mr. Winky, and of course, J. Thaddeus Toad. This is the story of The Wind in the Willows, which was of course Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Well, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride closed because it wasn't as popular as Tigger, Eeyore, Pooh, Piglet, Christopher Robin, and all their friends. Before the ride closed, the Imagineers wanted to make sure that you knew that Toad and his friends were okay with them passing on the torch, if you will, to Winnie the Pooh. So when you ride the attraction, when you go through Owl's house, look on the left-hand side and you'll actually see a picture of Mr. Toad handing the deed to the property over to Owl, just letting us all know that they were A-okay with the deal. Welcome to the City of the Future. We are in Tomorrowland for Fun Fact 14. And have you ever noticed these really cool metal looking palm trees over by Space Mountain? Well, here in the City of the Future, the Tomorrowland Light and Power Company needed to figure out a new way to harvest energy. So they came up with these, the power palms. So the leaves of the trees would soak up the solar energy, and then it would get harvested in the coconuts. That's why one of them, the leaves are all folded up and the coconuts are gone. That power's already been harvested. Now, these don't really work, but Disney really is harvesting solar energy with a giant solar field in the shape of what else? Mickey Mouse, right near the Magic Kingdom. They're hoping to cut their net greenhouse gas emissions in half by 2020. We really are living in the future, guys. All right, Fun Fact 15. We're about to get on the Carousel of Progress, one of my favorite things here at Magic Kingdom, and that's because Walt Disney worked on this one, and not just the Disneyland version, like he worked on this one. It made its debut at the 1964-65 World's Fair, and people were amazed by it. It's the longest running stage show in America, and it follows a family as they go through the century, and we see how progress has impacted their lives. But legend has it that in the first scene, the robin is actually the same robin used in Mary Poppins doing the spoonful of sugar act. Now, isn't that just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? Well, there you have it, y'all. 15 things to look for next time you're in Magic Kingdom. Did you learn anything new? Which one's your favorite? Let us know in the comments. In the meantime, definitely rate, review, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram at AllEars.net, and until next time, I'm Molly, and it has been magical. Bye!